Hey guys, it's Madison. Thanks for joining me in this faithful home and welcome to the final video of 2021. Cannot believe that I am filming this right now. So for the final wrap-up video for 2021, I thought it'd be fun to sit down, take you guys through kind of a recap of the year, saying goodbye to 2021, welcoming in 2022, and seeing what I'm looking forward to in the new year. I want to kind of have like this compilation of things that David and I have done, seen, accomplished, experienced over the year, especially with next year. Gonna have a lot of changes and I probably will forget a lot of things, so it'll be nice to have it all documented in one nice video. One of those big changes is that I am pregnant. If you are new to this channel and you don't know, I am now like 6 months pregnant. So here's a little bump shot. So pregnant, you can't sit. You're not as flexible anymore. Fun times. So yeah, that's a thing that we'll talk about in this video, but things are changing, and so I want to have this as just a memory to look back on, to see like where we've been, what we've done. And yeah, I'm gonna do month by month breakdown. I made a list on my phone because pregnancy brain. Honestly, I went back in my camera roll and scrolled through each of the months, picking out the things I had photos of, which makes the most sense if you want to think about what your year looked like. Just go in your phone. And so I did that. So I have at least one thing for every single month, and then some of them have multiple. Before we begin, I want to say thank you guys so much for helping me hit my goal of 3,000 subscribers here on YouTube. That means so much to me. That was my goal to hit by the end of 2021, and we did it. Super cool. Big accomplishment for me is hitting that 3,000 mark. I don't know why, I just saw that I could probably hit it and was like, that would be cool. And you guys helped me out because there's 3,000 of you that hit the button. So if you are new to my channel and you have not and you would love to do so, I would love for you to hit that subscribe button so you can feel welcomed into this faithful home with me. I share a lot of fun like crafting and DIY projects. I am delving into the world of urban homesteading, which we'll get to at the end of this video. We are pregnant, like I mentioned, and showed you the bump. It's kind of obvious now. And so I talk about things to prepare for the baby and how I'm feeling in this pregnancy. And I am a Christian and I firmly believe that I am a homemaker. So I talk about being a Christian wife, homemaker, all those sorts of things. So I'd love to have you in this little corner of the interwebs. And without further ado, let's jump into the 2021 recap. Oh, I'm also Italian, so I talk with my hands. You're welcome. I feel like this is a fun get to know you if you are new too, or you've been an OG and you know every single one of these better than I do. But this was fun to put together. So the first thing that happened in January, actually the very first day of January 2021, we bought RVtha, which was our RV that we lived in full time for a short stint. Pregnancy, whoops. But we bought RVtha. It was a really fun adventure. We toured her at the end of December of 2020 and then officially signed all the paperwork on the 1st of January this year. Moving on to February, we started, I and you all, I took you along for the journey. I did some renovations. I wanted to, I had this goal of not flipping it, but making it more modern, because RVs are very boring. And so I did a ton of projects here on this channel. You can actually go watch all those videos up here or here. Doing this 2 years, guys. Still don't know where to point. But I will leave a playlist that I have of redoing all of the different things in RVtha so you guys can go watch those and get inspired, because those are really fun to make. But I worked on that a lot in February. In March, David and I took a mini beach trip for his work. Mainly, he had to go on this trip. And so I ended up driving with him, and then we were there for like a couple days, and then I flew back on my own, and then he continued on like with his work trip. So that was fun. That happened in March. In April, I got to build my first raised garden beds, which was so fun. That was my first like toe in the water into this like homesteading lifestyle. I am very inspired by Whispering Willow Farms and Roots and Refuge Farm. Those were like the OG, like watched every single video to figure out what I need to do, and I still watch them today because they're awesome. But I built the raised beds, which you can watch that video, out of reclaimed wood and reclaimed metal from camp where we lived at. So I did that. In May, David and I celebrated our 2-year wedding anniversary. We took a like 1 day or weekend little mini trip away and spent a little time together there. We hadn't really done like big trips until this year, but we did like little like 1 or 2 day trips, like close enough to drive, get a hotel for the night, see a different city. Those were like the vacations we had. So trips more so than vacations, if you will. Also in May, I worked on a ton of projects around camp, getting like the garden set up, cleaning up camp, helping David and Matt and Kelly get it ready to run for the first summer. We officially moved out of our apartment in May. So like I mentioned, we bought RVtha in January, but our lease wasn't going to be up until the end of May, and we couldn't break our lease because they were weird, and like you had to pay 2 months like up front if you wanted to break it, and by the time we realized that, we had like 2 months left on our lease, so there'd been no point in breaking it early to pay the same exact amount. So we just partially lived there until the end. So we were transitioning, which was kind of nice because it was like gradual and subtle or whatever. We were transitioning to the full-time RV living and living in the apartment temporarily, and then in May is when we officially like ended our apartment lease and were full-time RV livers, like RVers, you know what I'm saying. So yeah, that happened in May, and David and I, one thing that I really love is we have pictures of like every place we've lived in, because we've lived in a lot of places. And so my photos told me that that's when we officially ended our lease. In June, we got baby chicks. Ooh, I wanted chickens so badly, and we were gonna be out at camp, which is a ton of acreage, and we were gonna have like a homestead, and we still have the chickens, by the way. We'll get to that. But I bought 12 baby chicks. It was gonna be 4 because we'd never had chickens before, and then I really wanted this one like type, like Americanos, Easter eggers, and so I found this website that I wanted to buy from. David and I then kind of agreed we could maybe do 6 or 7. Saw the website, thought it said there was a minimum order of 10, convinced David to let me get the 10, then I accidentally put 11 in my cart, not 10. And when I went to check out, they were like, oh yeah, you qualify for the normal fee instead of the under 10 fee. Apparently there was just like a little fee you had to pay if you didn't want 10. I didn't tell them that, so I could still get the 11. And then they're like, hey, do you want one free? And I was like, sure. So we ended up with 12. One was a rooster. The one that they gave us for free, we're pretty sure that was the rooster, but it's Nugget and we love him. But we got baby chicks in June, and I started working on the chicken coop, and with the help of like my family, built this coop, and it was out of reclaimed barnwood, reclaimed doors, and reclaimed metal from camp and then from my pastor's property. And I didn't really put too much into it. I put a ton of work. Well, let me clarify, I put a ton of work, guys. I didn't put a lot of money into this project, which was really cool because I got to reuse what we had like available to me. So that was a really fun project. In July, I finally got back into CrossFit. I had stopped for like a year and a half because I had slipped a disc in my back injury, put me out. I was kind of afraid to go back to working out. I was used to not working out, got into that habit. And then finally I was like, you know what? I want to get back into this. So I joined CrossFit again. That was awesome. And in July, I successfully grew veggies in my garden. A lot of them failed, a lot. Like I killed way more plants than I succeeded, but zucchini and squash, I grew the crap out of those. 2 plants produced so much food that I ended up like giving the chickens some, on top of giving my mom and dad some, on top of giving Matt and Kelly some. There were so many squash. I didn't know what to do with it. But I grew them and it was pretty cool, and I'm excited to do that again this year. And then the biggest thing in July, at the end of July, I found out I was pregnant. Found that out in July, which was kind of a shock. You can go watch those videos because we were not expecting it. I was not in my window. God has other plans for us. Clearly, He knows what is best for us. I definitely thought we weren't. And then David and I talked about it, and we were thinking that we weren't gonna have kids for a while, or we were, or we are apparently, because I found out I was pregnant in July, and now I'm 6 months pregnant. In August, we told David's family and my family that we were pregnant. We told some of our friends. We told Matt and Kelly first, then we told the Golden Girls, then we told his mom and uncle, and then we told my family, told my parents at their, like, they were building a house. They're in it now, but they were building it at the time, and we told them on my dad's birthday, so it was like a really cool birthday surprise for him. Found out later that one of my brothers thought he got my dad the best birthday present in the world, which he did. It was pretty cool. He got him Dodgers tickets so that they could go to a Dodgers game. Like, he did pretty well. And then I was like, oh, by the way, I'm pregnant. And he's like, yeah, that blows my gift out of the water. Thank you. Sorry, Aaron, my bad. With that, David and I decided that we weren't gonna live in the RV anymore. He was not about living in the RV with a baby. I wanted more space. I liked tiny living. It was fun. Would I do it again? Maybe if we had a bigger RV or like a motorhome or like a schoolie, like that would be dope. I've been watching so many tiny home videos. Could I do it? Probably. Do I want to anytime soon? No. I feel like I could have done it in like my single life, but not like married and then now married with a baby on the way. Wasn't happening. So we started looking around for housing. Housing is freaking stupid right now if you haven't bought a house. But the Lord's timing is amazing. My parents, like I mentioned, they were building, and so they were going to eventually sell the house that they were living in and then, you know, move to the house that they built. Sorry, I have hiccups. This child can be the hiccups. And apparently it's a lot harder to film now because I'm out of breath. Anyways, so they were gonna sell their house and David's like, hey, we should consider buying their house. I'm like, that's a lot of house. And hello, here we are. I am sitting in the house that we bought from my parents. We closed on it the last day of August, knowing that they wouldn't be out until around Thanksgiving / Christmas time, somewhere in that November, December range. But we got locked in at a really, really incredibly low percentage rate. And so we didn't want to pass on that opportunity. So we bought it end of August and then kind of like transitionally moved in, which again was nice, not having like a one. When we moved from our first home into the apartment, we had like one day with a U-Haul. That was stressful. When we moved from there to the apartment, that was a lot. When we moved from the apartment to the RV, I did it over time, which was nice. When we moved from the RV to here, again, over time, super nice. And now we're here and like, let's not go anywhere. I'll get to that. But yeah, so we did that. September, we finally took our honeymoon. We've been married for 2.5 years at that point. And my work schedule at the time sucked, let's be honest. And so we just never were able to realistically go on a honeymoon. I could never get the time off, especially to go on like such a big trip. And then we needed to save for it. So when we got married, we went to a cabin for 2 days, like close to where we got married, and then kind of started saving up little by little to go on like a bigger, nicer honeymoon when we could. It took us 2.5 years, but we did it. We went to Key Largo down in the Florida Keys. It was gorgeous. We went to an all-inclusive resort. It was a glorious time. They had an outdoor bathtub thing, and there's Zen garden, there's Zen, okay, yeah. I need to go on another vacation. Probably before this baby comes, that'd be nice. Realistically, that's not happening, but that'd be nice. A girl can dream. In October, we officially moved everything into this house and we sold RVtha. She was a good RV. We had her for 10 months. I changed her entirely. Go watch those videos. We sold her to a single mom that works with David. It was really cool to be able to pass that to her and to be able to sell it to her and just know that like it had a special place in my heart and now it gets to go to like such a loving family. Meant a lot. It was weird transitioning out of RVtha, I'm not gonna lie. Like we were completely different life being in an RV, small space, a lot of stuff in storage. A lot of stuff actually was here too in storage. Now we live in this big house, which we have a lot of projects to do. Stay tuned because we got a lot of house projects. Spoiler, not spoiler, I've talked about it before. But yeah, we officially sold that. The one thing that was weird, I mentioned that we take a picture after each house that we have moved out of. We had one from the first house, we had him from the apartment. When we sold RVtha, I knew that the day she was gonna get it and David was gonna do like a final walkthrough, I wouldn't be able to get there because of work. And so the day before, I took like my own picture in front of RVtha and then told David, the only thing I want you to do is make sure you get a picture in front of RVtha before they drive it off. So he took a picture with Megan in front of RVtha, and then I like photoshopped us together. So it's kind of fun because I still got to like have our photo. Anyways, that's dumb, I know. In November, we found out that the baby is a girl. We called it Peanut before we knew. Now she is a girl. Don't know if I've really mentioned her name here. I've mentioned it on Instagram. Go follow me at This Faithful Home. Shameless plug. I have not mentioned her name officially on this channel. Kind of want to do something fun when I like work on her nursery to do a name reveal. I don't know, like that's probably lame, but I want to do something cool like that. It's not a secret. Everybody knows it. I refer to her as her name. Pretty sure if you go on my Instagram, you can find it. I digress, but she's a girl. Also in November, we hosted our first Thanksgiving. So my parents were still living here. David and I were living here. My brother, one of them was still on a military trip. So my other brother and then my other brother's wife came here because obviously this is the house that we would have it at, and it'd be like my parents would be hosting like any other year. But then I was like, I want to host. Like, I know it's not like really my house yet. Like, it didn't feel like it was my house because they were still living there and we were like living in the guest room, which is where I'm sitting now. But I wanted to host. So I made a big Thanksgiving spread, cooked all this food. I'm freaking Italian to the core. Like, I made enough food for like 20 people. There was like 6 of us. We didn't need that much food, but it was delicious. And we got a honey baked ham and it was so good. And I made like 8 pies. 8 pies for 6 people was a little bit much, but they were good. I didn't make all 8. One of them came from Costco, but I made 7. So back to having, oh gosh, my leg. Oh no. I probably shouldn't sit like this. Oh, I'm gonna commit to it till the end of the video because it's gonna hurt. Okay, so back to having chickens. Our girls laid their first eggs in November, which was super exciting. I did not think they were gonna lay eggs this season because we started them late in the game. Like, we started them in, what did I say, June? And normally like chick days at Tractor Supply is like March, April. So they were behind the curve when it comes to like, usually they stop laying like in the winter when it gets cold and darker earlier. So I wasn't expecting it. And then all of a sudden there were like 4 eggs in there nesting box, and I was like, I FaceTimed my mom, I called David, like it was a big ordeal. Since then, I have stopped count because we've gotten like over 200 eggs, and I'm not exaggerating. That's like 16 or 17 dozen eggs. Like, Matt sent us a picture the other day, which they're still at camp, so Matt's helping us like keep an eye on them and collect the eggs, and then I go over there when I can and like feed them, play with them and all that. Matt sent us a picture and their nesting box had like 15 eggs in it. Like, that's a lot of freaking eggs, which is so cool. Labor of love. It's taken how many months, but we get to see the copious amounts of eggs, so it was all worth it. All right, and that brings us to December. First thing is 6 months pregnant. Pretty freaking cool. I won't hit 3rd trimester until next year, technically. I think it's like the first week of January, but 6 months. I worked on projects. 5-6 months pregnant working on projects is a little bit more exhausting, but I worked on projects at my parents' new house that they were building. I did board and batten in 4 different rooms. It turned out really cool. That was a fun project. Got to use a brad nailer, which I'm gonna use in so many videos now because it is very handy. I helped them move out. I helped one of my friends move into her house, or like helped her pack her apartment, and then officially became homeowners. Now I officially will consider myself a homeowner here because my parents officially moved into their house that they built. So Christmas Eve, was that it, the day? Yeah. Christmas Eve was our first official day of being homeowners, which was really cool and really exciting that my parents got to have their first Christmas in their new house, and then we got to sort of celebrate Christmas here. I say sort of because David got the flu. Wah, wah, wah. Yeah, that pretty much tells you how this.
Wait, are you filming?
Yeah. Okay, I love you. Apparently I need to wrap this video up because David just came to check on me, which means he wants me to hang out with him. Anyways, he got sick, so Christmas was kind of different this year. But we got to have it in our home. In our home. I lost all trains of thought with him walking in just now. Nope. It's not coming back. Pregnancy at its finest. All right, we're just gonna go with that being the wrap up of 2021. How ironic that my battery would die on my camera right as I'm about to finish this video. And then I had to get up and the leg that I said was cramping fell asleep. So we're here. Anyways, let's jump into the 2022 goals, visions, what I see for this channel, what I see for our life, things that are gonna happen, things that I hope to happen, things that I don't hope to happen. Okay, we moved from acreage where I was gonna set up homestead to the city. So a goal that I have for here is to start an urban homestead. I've got a spot laid out in the backyard. We live on like half an acre. I've got a spot laid out in the backyard where I'm gonna have a raised garden bed and I'm gonna plant all the things, have my seeds over there because I was admiring them the other day. That is a project. So this channel is gonna have a lot of urban homesteading videos coming soon. Very excited. Another thing is this house is split into 2 levels. The upstairs, like the main living, has this guest room, the nursery, which will be a project coming on this channel, the master, kitchen, living, dining. And then downstairs is like clean slate for us. It's finished, but it needs a lot of work. We already have ripped out all the flooring, like on Christmas Eve. I got really excited and ripped out like almost all the flooring. But we're gonna do some big projects there. So the downstairs makeover, we're gonna add a man cave. We're gonna have like a living playroom area for us and the baby. And then I'm gonna have a craft studio. I fully designed like the vision for it today while I was at work. It's gonna be freaking cool. I'm really excited. It's like moody, but like modern, rustic, I don't know. Just, you'll have to wait and see because we're gonna have videos on it too. So be expecting that and loads more DIY projects. Now that we're in a house again, we've got a lot of DIY projects coming. We are expecting baby girl in April. Her due date's April 1st, April Fool's Day. That would be great. Kayla's birthday, love it. That is what I'm hoping for, but also a due date is like a guess. Like, let's be honest, due dates aren't factual. So she could come in March, she could come in April. Those are the options. Well, she can come before that, but I really don't want her to. I would love for her to go make it full term because I'm planning on having a home birth. More things that are coming to this channel. More of my home birth chronicle videos. If you haven't seen the first one, I'll link it here. I'm gonna have the next one should go live next week for you guys. I'm documenting this journey of this home birth and what I'm learning and my natural, like crunchy organic self. So that'll be coming in full force this year for this channel, and whatever God has in store for us. I am leaving it all in his hands, that he knows what is best for us and he has a plan and a purpose, and that I'm gonna trust him in his guidance. One thing, if I can make a request, is that we live in this house for the entire 2022. I have not lived in one place for an entire calendar year since 2018. On Instagram today, I literally said that. I lived here with my parents, then I got married, then I moved in with David, who already had a house. Then from there we sold the house, rented an apartment, bought an RV, sold the RV, and then moved back in here. Full circle. 4th residence, 2.5 years of marriage. I would love for 2022 to be in the same house the entire year. That'd be awesome. But who knows? God's got a sense of humor. And apparently I like to move. I don't want to move. I'm tired of moving. Tired of packing boxes. Tired of living out of boxes. This seems like a nice place to just lay my head down for a whole year. Let's make that a goal. See what happens at the end of 2022 when I make my recap video if I'm still in this house. All right, guys, I'm gonna stop rambling. My leg is cramping so hard. I need to stretch it. I need to go see what my husband needs because he wants to hang out with me because he's pretty much slept for the last 36 hours and he is finally starting to feel better, thank goodness. So I'm gonna end this video here. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have made it this far, you are a trooper. You are probably Blue watching this video because you said you could listen to me ramble all the time. Love you, Blue. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Comment down below, what are you looking forward to most? I think I'm looking forward to most, one, this child that is growing inside of me. Pretty freaking cool. The projects that I get to do in this house, also awesome. I'm gonna be extremely tired doing all of them. And the outside urban homestead. Those are my top 3. if I had to narrow it down. But I want to know what yours is, so let me know down in the comments below. If you are new to my channel, like I mentioned earlier, I would love for you to hit that subscribe button so you feel welcomed into this faithful home with me. I post videos every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern. You can follow me over on Instagram at This Faithful Home. I don't like a post that often, let's be honest. I try to say that I'm gonna post every other day. Pretty sure the last time I posted was like 3-4 days ago. We were sick. That's my excuse. But then I come up with other excuses. You should just follow me on Instagram too, guys. Thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate you guys. You guys are such a big support and motivation, and it's really fun making videos for you, even if it means my leg cramps and I sit in awkward positions, and I probably shouldn't anymore because I'm pregnant, but you know, I'm here for it, and I hope you are too, and you can see more fun videos like that and watch my face. So love you guys. I'll see you next week for another video. Bye guys.